Hello and welcome to B3anPod, the media and writing podcast. This is episode 1. I'm Liam.
I'm Natalie.
And I'm Kirsty.
Today we're going to be discussing video games, in particular the game coming out on PS4 and PC, No Man's Sky. Natalie's going to lead you through on that one because she's been doing the most research on it.
I wouldn't quite say research more. I have obsessively been watching YouTube videos on all the information I can find.
So after we go through that in a bit more detail, we're going to go through our video game experiences and our histories. Today's writing challenge, or rather writing is more a reading challenge, some of the favourites that we've written from our Child Writers Group days over the last 2 and a bit years. As well as that, we're going to Google a bean story for you. We've got our 5 Minute Faff, and we've got our Food Pod challenge. So inside this time, someone will be getting a rotten egg. Good luck with that. We've got all our little tidbits and random oddities in between as well. We've got a blooper reel at the end of this, which is going to be horrible, I imagine, or brilliant.
We've already created material for it.
Yes. So before we start, I did want to say thank you to those who got in contact with me specifically. Jason and Dawn in particular. Jason was very positive. Dawn was very constructive with what she was saying. And we've amended things slightly and got some sort of plan, although not too much of a plan. So we'll get on with it. Our first segment, obviously, No Man's Sky.
And one thing that I am most fascinated about with it is how I haven't managed to find anything about it yet, but how the maths is used to actually create. It's all maths algorithms used to create a world, like a universe.
Yeah.
An epic universe.
But I'm going to be sitting quite quietly.
Yeah.
Having
Okay,
no
so
idea what
if
anyone's
I
talking about.
Oh, the dog's gone.
if I just explain, so No Man's Sky, if you haven't got a clue what it is, it's a game that is in development currently. It's basically a universe that they created with almost to scale universe with to scale planets. So if you land on a planet and walk in a straight line, you can spend weeks going around until you end up in the same spot. And so far, other than reaching the center of the universe, there doesn't seem to be a specific aim. Basically, you live it as you want to live it. So you can be a trader, you can just explore planets, you can just aim for the center of the universe. And there's meant to be up to, over 18 quintillion planets possible to explore. And these planets are created procedurally. So as you approach them, they are created. And every single planet is individual. There are creatures on every single planet that are individual, and it's just one big mass algorithm, basically, creating this entire universe. So that's basically what No Man's Sky is.
Yep. I believe they've said the release date's going to be June this year.
Yeah, it's announced as June this year, but you said that
it could according to Amazon, it could get extended to December. I'm quite glad about this because it seems that this is going to be a game that's going to be released when it's ready.
Yes.
Because that's the one thing that I feel is a pet hate, is when you get day one and you get a 4 gig patch.
Because there's a lot of media about this. There's a lot going out about this. They're really kicking it up. And if they release it too soon and it's not ready, then it's gonna let people down. Really, you're gonna mess it up.
I think, but the longer it's waiting as well, the hype goes up. They know they've got to get it right.
Yeah.
They know they've got to get it right.
They've got an audience now. They've got to get it right for them. Yeah.
Well, with the gameplay, from what I've read and seen, because I've been reading about it this week, the main sort of when you're landing on planets, the idea of the game, so far as we know, is you have to get to the centre of the universe. Don't know how far you are away from it. For all we know, you could be an hour away, but because you're exploring so much, it could take you absolutely ages.
Yeah.
But when you arrive on a planet, you land your ship, and each planet has its own ecosystem, it's got its own animals, and it's also got specific races. Now, each of these races, as well, are different things. So you have your scientists, your explorers, but because you're trying to learn the languages, you don't necessarily know how to interact with them. Now, when you interact, you get a sort of a little like guess game. You've got 4 choices, as with the PlayStation joystick. So with the 4 choices, you pick one and you do certain actions. If you get it correct, they will often heal you, give you extra things for your gun and things like that. But if you get it wrong, they'll ignore you or possibly get hostile towards you, and then that is it. You can't talk to them again. You have to go to a different planet and do it all again.
Start negotiations.
Yes. But there are other options when you're on the planet. You could walk around and find these things yourself, but because they're different ecosystems, you've got some that are, say, minus 160 degrees centigrade, and they will react with your armour, and your armour will deplete.
You have to have the correct suit. You have to upgrade your suit so you can actually go on some of those planets. Like, you've got atmospheres that aren't quite right.
Yes.
And,
And with that, but if you use a computer inside, say, you've talked to one of the species, they've accepted you, you understand what they've said because you've learned parts of the language, you access the computer, and what it will do is it will scan the whole planet and it will send information to your ship that you can then go to specific landmarks and learn more about it, which I think is amazing because that's got to be done, as you said, 18 quintillion times, which is completely mad.
But at the same time, you think about it, because it's all procedurally generated, I'm wondering how much like memory and processing power this is going to take as well. Because if it's procedural, then it's just creating that patch around you. So
it could be that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way around it. I've heard it's all online as well, so I imagine it would take quite a lot of like cloud power or something. Yeah. But once you discover a planet, it's yours, and it's permanently yours as well.
And you can rename things as well. So if you discover a species, you can name it after you, or you get a planet, you can name it after you, or something. You can give it your own name. So then when you turn up, it will say found by someone, discovered by this person, and named.
But that's what's incredible about it, because it's just such a vast game, and the possibilities are almost infinite. I mean, I think someone worked out the maths that if a planet was found every second, it would take 585 billion years to find them all, which, you know, I'm sat on the PlayStation a lot. I don't think I'd sit on it that long. No. So it's potentially that there are going to be planets that are never found. Because obviously, as it goes along, the game will die off, and there are going to be, well, more than trillions of planets that
I'm sure there's always going to be someone out there who's determined to see as many as possible, but you can't. It's not going to happen.
No, you'd have to be presumably well off for the rest of your life.
Or immortal.
Immortal sounds more like
get Dracula on a PlayStation and hope it doesn't die on it. No!
It's like the last planet.
The apocalypse comes and shuts off all the power.
I would be very angry.
Oh yeah.
So that's the game I'm looking forward to the most this year. It's probably the reason I'm going to get a PS4.
Yeah.
And it's... Yeah, there are other things on the planets as well. Because it's not just that. You can also sort of team up with people and do trades.
But you can become space pirates.
Yeah, you can become space pirates, which... That scares me because I'm terrible at it.
Same.
But also, on the planets, you're not just going to have, like, lush planets.
No.
I think one of the things they said when they first did a
because they keep demoing the same planet, don't they?
They did a trial run and all the colours were horrendous and clashed with each other. They said, right, we've got to change that. But on top of that, you've also got dead planets where there will be absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And you won't know there's nothing until you find, like, the computer or something.
Yeah.
You could land on the wrong bit of the planet as well. And you've got day-night cycles.
Yeah.
It's constantly turning. It's going around.
So I think
planets
didn't they have some people who were trialing it. They were complaining that there's something wrong with the lighting and stuff like that. No, you're on a planet. It's rotating day and then they were complaining about how they landed in one place and when they took off from the same place. They were in a different place. They're in a different part of the solar system, and because the planet has rotated, it's actually you have moved. It's not staying in one spot.
Which
sounds alarmingly real.
It is.
The amount of effort and maths and it's staggering, absolutely staggering. When you think, even now, I mean, you've got sandbox games which are free roaming.
Yeah.
And you think they're huge.
Yeah.
This is a whole new level
is.
of huge. It's like they've completely bygone the wheel and have made a spaceship.
Yeah, I mean the sandbox games they're basically 2D compared to this.
This is a whole new level of madness. But it's not done by a big studio. It's what's done an indie game, not a AAA release, which.
I think that's part of the reason why it sounds like it might work so well, because with a smaller team, they got more focused on certain areas, and the development is much more specific.
But everything I've seen on YouTube, read up in magazines, it's just like they're all so excited, and they're all still completely clueless.
Yeah,
as
even
to
the
what it
developers
is.
are excited by it. They don't know what they're going to come across half the time.
They know some of it. Originally, they said, there's no non-playable characters, NPCs. And then one of the demos, they went straight in, and the first thing they come across was an NPC that they could interact with. They were like, I got you. But, you can... it's just the sheer scale. I hope it's, not gaming nirvana, but as high as it can go before someone has to come along and up it. I mean, the whole thing that you could be, space pirates through this whole game and not get to the end of it must excite people.
Yeah.
It must do.
It's got to.
So.
I mean, it's basically it's real. Yeah, it's a real scale, basically real scale adventure.
Yeah.
But
Sounds
a computer.
Sounds actually kind of appealing to me as someone who's never actually managed to complete a game. That the fact that competing is not really the point.
No, the point is not to complete it.
You can complete it if you want.
Yeah.
I mean,
or you can just keep going around.
It's not really the main point.
You can become a pirate. You can become a trader. You can just be an explorer. It's up to you.
Or you could just be that person that hops from planets and takes pictures of animals and stuff. You can always have
animal.
you can always have a second job in this game.
Yeah.
Live out your second job dreams. Be a space pirate.
Exploring space pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll be Captain Jack Sparrow. It's fine.
Space battles.
Yeah. Apparently, in the space battles, they're to scale as well. So if you go up against a massive warship with your tiny little
you're not
beam,
gonna
you're gonna get blown away. Unless you're A, really quick, and B, they're just not noticing you firing on them. Which I think they will after a while.
Yeah, they probably notice.
What is that? It's a mosquito.
Yeah. Pinging on the hull.
Oh, sorry, I'm scared your dog again.
It's the only sound they can hear. You actually created the one sound a deaf dog can hear.
There's a deaf dog in the room. We should probably point this out.
Yes.
A mostly deaf dog.
Mostly deaf, yeah. If he can hear that, then it's brilliant. So, in terms of overall video games and stuff like that, we've come a long way. Let's be honest.
We have come an incredibly long way.
Back in the days of Pong
what was your first one? Game?
My first game was...
Other than Teletext.
Other than Teletext. Yeah, that one doesn't count. No, it was Sega Master System, I believe. And it was a game which had Sonic built in, but I also had a cartridge game which had 8 different games on it. So you had a racing game, you had a little penalty shootout game.
I had one like that, but that was for I started with the Nintendo, I think it's Nintendo, can't remember what it was now.
It was a Super Nintendo.
Yeah, Super Nintendo, I think it was.
Or was it the Nintendo, the NES?
No, it wasn't the SNES, it was the...
The one before.
It was the one before.
Yeah, the NES.
Yeah, the
That's
NES.
it, yeah.
That was mine.
Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, that's what I had with the cartridges and Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, Super Mario Land was the best. I played and jumping with the character. That was.
Yeah, because
Everybody did that.
Yeah,
Nobody tell you that
so you
didn't
lean
work.
to the side.
Nobody tell me they didn't steer with the controller when you're in charge of a car.
Yeah, but now it just shows though, isn't it? Because now you do have to do that to steer, and it's like how I've trained myself not to do this.
especially when it came to things like the Wii as well, because suddenly you're doing all this.
It's like,
I mean, initially when I first played the Wii and you're playing the tennis, I'm doing like full-on tennis thing. Before you realise you can actually just like flick your wrist.
Oh.
It's like it does the same thing. You're like, well, this is disappointing because before I'm slamming it as hard as I can.
Which was what they intended when they created the Wii, and then people cheated.
Yes, of course. So what was your first one then, Kirsty?
I'm
You've been
trying
quiet
to remember.
mostly.
I had a really old computer when I was a kid that had some sort of Quest game on it, but I cannot remember for the life of me what it was.
It's like a Commodore or something like that.
No, not quite that old.
My friend had a Super Nintendo and he played Moonwalker, which is the Michael Jackson film with the same name. He used to go around and throw his hats as like the attack, and then he had to go through the level, and it was you would get Smooth Criminal. That's it.
Really?
You would have that as the backing track to certain levels.
Oh my god!
I feel deprived of games.
You have been deprived.
My one of the games I most played was I was given an old laptop from my dad's work that just wasn't good for anything anymore. You couldn't save anything. It didn't run except plugged in. I'm talking like really old brick, breeze block laptop. And about the only thing it was good for was solitaire. And I would sit there and I'd play solitaire.
I've always been...
Which I still play on my phone.
I've just been loyal to Super Mario Brothers quite a lot. Because Nintendo, and then I got a Game Boy. I've always been proud of the fact that I got the Game Boy before I turned up in England, because it was when we went to Germany, and my aunt and uncle were like, "What do you want then?" Game Boy.
I never really
and I played it all the way back home in the car.
That is brilliant.
I had a deprived childhood. I never had a games console, not like a handheld one.
Oh.
I never had one.
Until your Xbox. Well, that's
not
the
handheld,
handheld.
really.
No,
I had the original
console.
PlayStation as well, with a steering wheel. I had the proper steering wheels and pedals because my dad wanted to play. My dad's into rallying.
I tried my cousin.
We got the original PlayStation with V-Rally. That was Christmas Day. That was good.
That was the worst rally game of them all, though.
Yeah.
Colin McRae was the best one.
We did, when I got my Xbox, we had Colin McRae. Unfortunately, the steering wheel on that one, it was like a Lotus one. It was supposed to be really awesome, but it was so sensitive that you sort of touched the steering wheel and went off the road.
I always struggle with them. They're so sensitive.
They were easy to... Because the original PlayStation one I had, the steering wheel was great, and you could actually drive it like driving. And then we got the one for the Xbox, it was just like, I've run off the road, I've barely touched it. What have I done?
I tried my cousins before, and it was just so sensitive, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I actually found it easier to play with the controller. Yeah, as somebody who doesn't ever really play video games is finding it better to use the controller than a steering wheel. It's like, this makes no
Did you ever
sense.
do the old thing where you wanted to go faster in a game, so you press down harder on the accelerator pedal? That doesn't do anything.
I still do that in a car. My foot is on the floor, putting more pressure on the pedal that's already on the floor does nothing.
Yeah, that will do nothing. Fast and Furious has taught us that supposedly it does, but it genuinely does not.
No.
If anything, you will destroy, like, your clutch.
Yeah.
There's a reason I don't have my car with the 1.2 engine anymore.
A lot of games I had were 2D, and the very first game that I had was 3D, was something called Battle Arena Toshiden.
Yeah.
And it was a very strange game. It was very blocky. This was before Tekken.
Yeah.
So, but during the game, you fought and you could fall off the sides, as you can do in certain games like Soul Calibur. But with that game, and it's something I still haven't seen in any other game, you could win, but if you were too close to the edge, and they would do a little celebratory sort of...
Oh, you said that!
Yeah, they'd do a celebratory dance thing, and if they fell off the edge, it was suddenly a draw. You're like...
I remember playing a game like that, where...
What the hell?!
I remember playing a game very like that, where the celebratory dances would fall off, and then you die, and it was like... I won the fight!
Yeah, might have been the same game.
Might have been.
But it was
probably
a case
somebody
of,
else's game.
even in like Soul Calibur,
Yeah.
you could fall off the side, but if you won. You could then like run off the side after them, like, I'm going to punch you in the water while I'm at it. You know, I've knocked you out. I'm going to go and beat you up some more in the water. But it was mind blowing to me, not only because it was 3D, but because, you know, I then had to be aware. I had to be tactically aware how to beat certain people and not be on the edge. Yeah. But it did help me when it comes to the final boss, because he used to have a jumping attack where he'd come down on you. Yeah. And I just remembered to go near the edge, and he'd come down for a jumping attack, and I dived out of the way, and he went off the edge. And I was like, yes! I have taught myself well. And then you've got games like, I don't know if either of you played Metal Gear Solid.
No.
That was a whole new level of game, because the AI on it, bad guys would see your footprints and would follow the footprints.
He said about that.
And to hide, you would have to like hide in a box and walk along. Yeah. There were some crazy things in it. Yeah. But there was also one of the bosses, Psycho Mantis. This is the one everyone remembers. Yeah. Was the fact that he knew what you were doing. Yeah. So the way to beat him was to take the controller out of port 1 and put it into port 2. And then that way he couldn't read your mind anymore and you could beat him. Which was like a whole fourth wall break. And you're like...
That is crazy.
the general, if you died first time, because if you were in control of port 1, he could read your mind, so you knew when you were going to shoot, when you were going to go up and punch him, when you were going to use the regenerate, like you were going to eat some rations to regenerate your health, he would then throw stuff at you so it wouldn't work, and you're like, oh, and then the general would call you up if you die, or I think halfway through the battle, he'd say, put it into control of port 2, you do that, and you suddenly move, and you could go up and hit him. It was just a whole new level of like.
You see, that actually wouldn't work for me with my Xbox, because I was using my Xbox as DVD player as well, and I had a remote control for it, and I had the receiver for the remote control was in port 1. So that would never have actually worked had I played it.
I think it was more mind bending as well, because if you had a memory card in the PlayStation, he could read what games you were playing as well.
Oh, that's
and he'd say, I see you play this. And you're like, what? No. Throw the controller away, turn it off, run, go and join go and join like a monk convent or something like that.
I'm the kind of person who gets stuck on level 2, can't get off anywhere, and gives up. I'm that kind of person. Which is why the last game console I actually purchased was the original Xbox.
It's only since I've been to uni that I've really got into first-person shooters and things like that. Because I always struggle with them. I could never aim, so I couldn't aim. So I was shooting wildly and I wasn't getting anything.
That is a common problem.
Yeah, but it wasn't until I went to uni and I spent a whole day just sat with one of the guys in my flat and we just played COD the entire day, and I was so good by the end. Well. Compared to him, I wasn't, but compared to what I used to be like, I was pretty good. And then I got a couple of my own games, and now I can actually do them.
My nickname when we used to play COD online was Cannon Fodder. I would be, quite often, there were 4 of us in a room, sat around, and people online used to get confused how a squad could not have any headphones. Yeah. It was the fact we were all sat in the same room. And I would go round the corner, and inevitably I would get shot. Probably in the face. And then they'd go, right, there's someone round that corner, we'll have them. Go round the corner, bang, got them. They're like, how are they doing this?
I'm the one that sort of peeks around the corner and goes back again, and someone's trying to shoot me. Okay, I need to creep out and aim and air that.
I'm the one that doesn't realise she's burned herself up with her own grenade because she's been throwing it at a glass window rather than through someone for about 3 or 4 goes.
Why isn't this working?
That's the kind of player I am.
But then I play a lot of fighting games. I think I've won 1 game of Tekken online.
I'm more Street Fighter.
I just don't.
That's my third, because no one counts Virtua Fighter anymore.
I'm a button masher. I mash the buttons and somehow win. I don't know how.
That's my strategy. I don't win.
Yeah, although the one I got on my PS3, I'm a bit better. I know some of the codes and things to get fancy moves.
Some of the combos, yeah.
I was just going to say some of the other games we said about quite a bit about the fighting and shooting and stuff like that, but my actual area of games that I've always preferred are like platform and story games. So I really love Assassin's Creed because you got this quite expansive world that you're walking in, and you got set plot lines that you have to meet, but there's also I like all the side quests as well, so you go off, and that's what I've always enjoyed doing. And like, I mean, you go from the very basic like PS1 platform like Crash Bandicoot, I always like that. Yeah. Those kind of things, of Spyro, you got a main storyline, but every so often there's little side quests that pop up. That's always been my thing. I like the Lego games recently. I really like the Lego games because
I like playing the Lego games with you.
Yeah, they're really. She
never picks up the coins. I'm the second player that runs around picking up all the coins.
Yeah, because eventually I know I'm just gonna get the add-on to hoover up all the coins as I go, so I don't need to worry about it.
It's the other stuff that you leave behind. I can't leave stuff behind.
Those are, well, the Lego ones are quite amusing as well, aren't they? But then you've got like Portal 2, and that's both amusing and weird, and the puzzles are a thing.
The voice acting.
The voice acting is fantastic. That's absolutely amazing.
I'm going to take it back to a little bit older and say that my favourite one that I've ever owned was Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup on the
I've got that on my Game Boy Advance SP. I love that game.
I had it on my Xbox, and I was actually really good.
I started playing it again this week as well. I was like, oh my god, I'm like 80% of the way through on one of these. When did I do that?
The problem I had with that game though was I got really good at because first of all you win the Hogwarts Cup.
Yeah.
You got the Hogwarts Cup, and then you train, and then you win, and I got really good at that bit, and then you go to the Quidditch World Cup, and then suddenly everybody is better by that much.
Yeah.
And so
it's a big jump.
What?
It is a big jump, and because I just did a practice one when I tried getting into it. I was like, I can do this, and I won it, no problem. But you go into an actual Quidditch World Cup, you're like, what the hell?
The house cup is easy. I cleaned up everything in the house cup, and then like all the extra badges that you can add, all the chocolate frog cards that you collect,
everything. It's a lot harder when you
and then you go to the World Cup, and it's like I think I managed to get through like the first couple of matches, and then it's.
Oh no, I have got pretty far.
We have established already that I do give up on games.
Yeah. If I get really stuck,
or I just stop, or I just put them down one day and then never go back.
You would never play a game like Dark Souls or Bloodborne and things like that because. Those games have been designed to make sure you die. That is the one thing you get from these games.
I'd last about half an hour.
You will die. Okay? You will die. The first bosses are nails. Yeah. Like, you've not even introduced yourself into the game. You sort of know what you're doing. A big boss comes along. Well, it might be a giant tree that will sit on you. It might be like a giant... It's a weird game, okay? But once you beat them, the sense of euphoria, it's like an addiction. You go back.
I think that's what I had a little bit with Folklore.
A bit like that with Final Fantasy. Because me and my brother used to play Final Fantasy, but we would play it side by side because at one point we both had a PS1 and we both had Final Fantasy 9, which by the way is the best one. Controversial. Point alert. Everyone's going to say, no, it's 7. No, it's not, it's 9. It goes 9, 6, 7, 8, okay? I don't count 10 or anything like that, so... but when it came to playing through it, we would often get stuck on certain bosses, and then the other one would get through that boss. We'd say, okay, because we trained the same way, our characters the same way, that we could then say, oh, give us your save, because we're not beating that boss. And then we ended up getting the secret ending between us, which was quite cool.
But me and Kirsty, our big boss, I guess, battle is for PS2, Lord of the Rings. It was Return of the King.
Yeah, it was the Witch King at the end of Return of the King.
Not just the Witch King, because we worked out a strategy for that, but I was...
Did we actually beat him?
We had, we did.
Not with me. I think you did it with your dad in the end.
Oh well, I've done it a few times, but the really big one was where it's an extra game at the end where you're basically in this circle. Yes,
that is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you get in the circle and then they keep increasing the level of the creatures attacking you. So you start off with something simple, and then it goes up to orcs, and then you've got spiders, and then it goes up to trolls, and it keeps going up, and then more of them come, and then they have more than one creature attacking you.
When you're playing your two players, you only lose if both of you die at the same time.
Yeah, so you
have to, one of you has to be alive if the other one is dying.
So we're trying to get through. We have never been able to complete it though. We got so close.
Yes, I mean,
I've even tried doing it with like cheating by actually boosting my health and you just can't do it.
Yeah, you get to the point where the last really big bad that you're trying to kill is down at just like the last bit of health, and then your character will just collapse.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Really?
Yeah,
like we've been playing this particular fight for a good 5 or so minutes at this point.
Yeah,
maybe 10 sometimes.
It's a long game just trying to do that.
You're just in it, kind of going, don't die, don't die, don't die. Oh.
Yeah, it's a mega battle. That.
So before we go on to the next subject, so what would you say was your favourite game then? There you go, tough question.
It is a tough question.
We haven't actually talked about The Sims either.
No, The Sims. Oh my god, I live on The Sims.
You infected me with The Sims. This
I know.
is entirely
I've
your
had
fault.
Sims 1, Sims 2, Sims 3. Now I just
You're the whole reason EA have
now I'm on
money.
Sims 4.
Yeah.
I do love The Sims.
I never actually play The Sims though. I build stuff and then never actually play it.
Stuff. Whereas that's why I said you'd like the careers one, because that you actually get to do the career. You're actually still doing things.
I did play that one a little bit, I will admit.
Yeah, but I got Sims 3 and Sims 4 on my laptop at the moment, and they're frequent players. Well, Sims 3 not as much now, more because it is such a heavy game. It takes a while to just load up, let alone once you're on it.
Yeah, that is the biggest problem with The Sims. It just entirely takes over your computer.
It does.
And
It completely takes over your computer, and if, like me, you hoard stuff on your computer and keep saying, yes, I will clean it up, so I will move it all over to the external hard drive.
So I'm going to need to give it a spring clean and do a bit of TLC to the laptop. And then
before you know it, you've got 30 gig left on your hard drive, and you're wondering what to do. So, yeah, that probably doesn't help things, but yeah, I just love playing it. It's that feeling of being God, isn't it? but at the same thing,
God complex.
It's a God complex, but I do like that.
So, are you saying Sims?
Sims is pretty high up, but I just
thought it needed addressing.
Yeah, definitely needs addressing, but I don't know. I'm just looking at all my PlayStation 3 games now.
I'd probably go with either. I'm probably going to say either Final Fantasy 9 or Portal 2.
So I've always really liked SSX as well. I've got them on. I've got two.
That one.
Yeah, I've got On Tour SSX 3
I don't have my own.
on PS2, and then I've got SSX on PS3 as well. And I've always liked on PS2 best. And like I've said before, I like the music on there, so I have often played it, not just because I love the game, but because I love the music on it. I'm not really sure, but it'd probably have to be between SSX or Sims. Both EA games. Yeah. I just love EA games, really.
I'm trying to pick, because I would pick The Sims, but I never actually play The Sims. I create stuff on The Sims and never really play the game, so that's kind of cheating.
That's playing.
That's part of playing.
It's playing the first. I thought
playing is creating.
It's very much like what I do with all games. I play the first bit and then never really do anything else. Or it could be really boring to say something like Tetris.
Yeah, but Tetris is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I played Tetris to the point when I was a teenager where I had to cut myself off.
I have a handheld console that's Tetris.
So
it's got multiple Tetris, not just Tetris. It's also got like the one where you shoot things and
it was
loads of
the closest thing. It was supposed to be like one of those businessman's PDA sort of
I feel like going and finding it now.
And it had Tetris on it.
I'm gonna have to see.
So Natalie's leaving the room.
No, she's going over there. It's fine.
Oh, it's just over there now.
Yeah.
So,
I had this little console which I used to play Tetris on all the time. Like I would watch TV and just be playing Tetris, all continually to the point where I closed my eyes and would continue to play Tetris. When I didn't have the pet Tetris in front of me, so eventually I had to sort of cut myself off because I got slightly addicted to it. I now get to the point where I'm so good at it where I will genuinely get bored and stop the game before I lose. Because I'll be playing for 10 minutes or so and then I'm run out of break at work or something and just go back to work. I will stop it before I lose at this point. So I'm not terrible at all games.
No.
I have staying power with like the little silly one player. I like playing against myself, or where there's not actually an opponent. I still play solitaire and that kind of thing, but I generally just don't think about playing games. If I have a game that I'm playing, like with say the Quidditch World Cup, which I say is got to be on there, one of my favourite ones. I just sort of stopped playing it one day and then just didn't turn the console on again for 6 months. I kind of lose interest and I don't think about it. I do the same thing with reading books. I will go through a phase of devouring like a book or two a week, and then I won't read a book for 3 or 4 months. I don't know where that is.
Oh, dog's off again.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to tell us to move on to the next segment.
Yeah, probably about time. Any non-gamers at this point have given up and left.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's all right. We can save it with editing.
and we'll put a thing at the beginning, kind of going, if you fed up with the game, you skip to this time.
Yes. The next thing is the reading of our favourites. I've got my choice, so I'm going last because mine's going to be a little bit different compared to yours.
It's not quite a reading as such.
No,
more performance.
But it is something that I have written, and a few people are going to like.
And we will be reading, in fact, technically.
Yeah. We'll explain when we get closer.
Yeah, when we get there.
We'll go first then.
So who's going to go first then?
Oh my god, this is falling out.
Oh dear.
Mine's quite short and mine's ready if
go.
Okay.
I'm dropping things.
Right. Slight backdrop for the story. We did a challenge with the story cubes that we talked about last week, and the 3 pictures that we had was a wigwam, a light bulb, and a sheep. It was incredibly dark where they had pitched their tent, but then it was the middle of Dartmoor. There were no artificial sources of light for miles in any direction. The headlights of the occasional passing car had even ceased at some point in the night, and after they had shut out the night and gone to sleep, it was so incredibly peaceful. The 2 girls were woken in the early hours by a noise. It was surprisingly light, but they put that down to the moon and the stars, so much brighter in the countryside. Then the sound of movement came again, close to the side of the tent, the steeply sloping sides of the teepee-pointed tent, showing passing of shadows. The stories the girls had been telling each other earlier in the evening, of the beast of Dartmoor, the hounds of Baskerville, rooting them down in terror as the sound of breathing, not their own, met their ears. Hours later the sun had risen, and the girls could no longer hear the creatures over the sound of the morning, no longer see shadows in the dawn light, so fear loosened its grip long enough that they crawled to the front of the tent and unfastened the flaps. Sticking their heads through cautiously, they were met with an unexpected sight. A flock of sheep seemed to have moved in during the night, and several of the animals were contentedly cropping grass before the tent. The smaller girl collapsed on the floor in relieved laughter, while the taller girl let out a furious bellow of "Mint sauce!" which sent the nearest animals scattering away from them, and both girls into further helpless laughter.
Sauce!
So, I should probably follow that up with a slight caveat of this is basically Natalie and me camping on Dartmoor.
Yeah.
This particular event never actually happened, but there is evidence of us wandering across Dartmoor yelling at sheep.
Yeah.
We have done it.
We have video evidence somewhere. Okay, so this one, I didn't even realise I had a prompt when I wrote this one. Okay, I've got middle of the night and phone rings. That's all I've got. So
yeah, that was something Rachel gave to us, wasn't it?
Most likely.
Undoubtedly.
So
we were
this
never
is
that
my one.
organised.
So I've named it Curiosity. I have always enjoyed a midnight stroll. It's refreshing, mysterious and peaceful, even in the city that never truly sleeps. I've been walking for a while now, street after street lit by an orange glow. The blackness of alleys seeps out in stripes. I stop next to one of these alleys. Listen. I can hear a phone. It gets louder and louder, and I begin to narrow in on its location inside the alley. There is just enough light that I can tell there is no one about, until I find my eyes drawn down to find a manhole. The phone stops. I shrug to myself. Someone was clearly unlucky enough to lose their phone. I turn away, ready to continue walking, when another sound catches my attention. A voice emanates up from the manhole. Who would be working down there at this time? I am determined to shrug off my curiosity. I will not look. I mustn't. They say curiosity killed the cat. Well, not this one. I, Madison, will not involve myself in the unknown. I hear the manhole cover move, and before I realise what I am doing, I charge at it. I hope to grab the person, ask them who they are and what they are doing down there. Not that I expect a reply. People rarely do. Suddenly, a grubby arm shoots out from the hole and grabs me by the leg. I howl and growl and claw at the filthy appendage, but to no avail. I hear a deep chuckle as another smelly hand grabs me by the scruff and drags me towards the black hole. I can't go in there. I won't go in there. I growl and hiss, but it doesn't help. Before I can think of any other way out, I'm in the manhole. The cover bangs shut. My eyes adjust quickly to the dark. I see the glow of faces in the beam of a phone and torchlights. "Well, fellas," the one holding me says, "looks like it's cat tonight." I have no idea why everyone likes that so much.
This is so dark. There's hints that you don't realise it's from a cat's perspective, though.
I know, that's the only point, that's the only thing I was going for.
You didn't realise you were writing about a cat to begin with.
It wasn't until I got to I, Madison, that I went, this is a cat.
Which is why nobody knows it's a cat, because neither did you. We're not actually showing very well in these readings that I'm usually the dark, creepy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this also happens quite often where we get a prompt, we write, you go, haven't done my usual thing again. Haven't done my usual thing again. You often don't do your usual thing.
I always used to, and then I've stopped.
Yeah.
So, with my one, I tend to write a lot of scripts, as some of you may know who listen.
So reading them out is a bit tricky.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky unless you say, I don't know, pre-recorded something. Yes.
How convenient.
Yes, how convenient. No, my one was a particular exchange from an episode that I've written of our radio play, something called Ghostwriters. It stars these two as two reporters who investigate paranormal things.
It's us, but not us. It's fine.
Yeah. Extreme versions. Although you've started doing like some of the character traits, and it has freaked me out slightly.
Or Liam somehow knew us better than he thought.
Yeah, I think that's more likely.
So what we're actually going to do here is we're going to play a small segment of it. So we're going to go on to that now.
What do you mean you don't have coffee?
Your Majesty, please.
Don't Your Majesty me! Last night we had 3 different types of ghosts.
Which were all excellent, by the way.
Well, of course they were.
Don't talk to her like that. Now, I don't care who you have to pay, kill, tiggle, or send into a badger's den. You take your so-called genius team and you find me some coffee, or I might just have to make a chef stew. Oh, and if you're really lucky, I might accept tea.
But...
No!
Feel better? I'll take that as a no then.
How are you so chirpy?
It's always amusing to see you like this.
I could have you executed, you know.
In what fanciful and incredibly not in keeping with the century way?
What are you on about?
Sorry to get all historical on thine backside, but the castle has central heating and double-glazed windows. We ate loads of food last night that was not even in this country, however good it was, and had a rumba dance-off, which we expertly won, and to top it off, you have an ensuite bathroom. That is just so anachronistic. I mean, what's next? James I is going to rock up with a machine gun riding an alpaca?
Well, what do you suggest?
I don't know, I can't get hold of it.
Oh, so now it's a good idea to try that?
I don't see you coming up with anything else.
We've just listened to the radio play. We're going on to our Google story. It's the last time I had a Google story about a baked bean museum. This time round, we've typed in bean into Google, and not a lot come up on the first page.
No.
We then strayed into page 2.
We strayed into page 2 territory, and Natalie has found us a story, so we're going to hand this over now, and this could go very wrong, or it could be very funny.
First, I'd like to clarify, which word am I allowed to use?
You know what? Go with one that feels best.
I'm going to go with the amusing one then. Okay, so the title of this is Franks and Beans, 13 rings stuck on German penis cut off by fire brigade.
Oh God!
We just heard this and it still sounds funny.
Okay, so basically, I gotta read some of this as it is because it's just so funny. It's safe to say 13 is an extremely unlucky number for one German fetishist who tried to fit one too many rings on his willy, prompting a call to the local fire brigade.
God.
Yeah, the emergency crew had to use an angle grinder to free his Frankfurter. and they appropriately put a gif of put a ring on it.
He liked it, so he put plenty on it.
Yeah, plenty of rings on it.
Oh God.
Yeah, so basically you went to A&E and the doctors called up the fire brigade.
Presumably after they stopped laughing.
Yeah, most likely. They managed to remove the rings
with an angle grinder.
With an angle grinder.
Oh, that must have been horrifying.
But he's never going to do it again, is he?
Liam has practically curled up into a ball. It's quite funny.
Oh.
Yes, and they like to finish off this article with, for anyone interested in attempting to beat his record of 13, please consult a very important guide that they have on how to use penis rings safely, or maybe leave the rings to Frodo and friends.
There's just so many questions with that.
There always are after those kinds of articles.
I mean, the first one. Why? I mean, there are several fetishes. Why?
Well, there is a little bit in there. There is a sentence in there that apparently he did it to try and enhance himself sexually.
That is generally the point of them.
Yeah. I mean, did someone egg him on? Because they may have been joking.
That does seem an excessive number.
Just, at what point do you think, nah, Ted's not enough?
Did I say that he's 57 as well?
Oh my God!
Liam's gone.
How are we going to do the 5 minute faff?
Might have to take a break.
I can find something else.
Right. Yeah, that's it. TV guide. That will. Try not to kill your dog. Okay, so
no dogs over there. It's fine.
So as who's got the timer, by the way?
Oh, that was me last time.
Yeah. As you well know, we're doing the 5 minute faff. This is really difficult. This is not going to live up to that story. The 5 minute faff. The word we have this week.
Venue.
Right. That's not a bad one.
I'll take a tally afterwards.
If you listened to us last time, you'll know that what we're now doing is 5 minutes. So the word we're going with is venue, and then we're going to see how far we can get within 5 minutes off the beaten track. Let's go, I guess. Ready, set,
now.
go. So one of my favourite venues to go to is the O2 in Bristol. It was one of the first I went to.
I like the ice rink above it when it was open.
Well, yeah. Well, a lot of people. I hate ice rinks, though.
I've never tried ice skating.
Yeah,
me and ice is not great.
Ice skates and everything. The only thing I couldn't do was backwards. I couldn't do backwards.
I don't choose to go on an ice rink because I turn into a cartoon character when I'm just on ice on the roads. I generally flail. No, I once had to claw my way up the railings to get back onto my feet.
So that's kind of
with
normal.
Feet sort of sliding out to the sideways.
That's normal.
Yeah. I've never seen anybody else climb up railings because of ice.
Oh, I have.
Well, it happens a lot in Chart because they don't really grit anything around here.
This wasn't in Chart. This was when I was at uni. This was in a city.
Well, you were up north anyway. There's always grim up north.
Up north, even in Bristol, it was snow and ice.
Bristol's not up north.
North from here, and that had more snow than we had down here.
No, I'm sorry.
I was in Chester, okay? He went south. He had no say. I was in Chester. Chester is the north. As in, you drive past the signs on the motorway that say to the north.
Yes. As soon as you get past Birmingham, that's the north.
Yes, and you drive for a good, hour and a half past Birmingham. I'm definitely in the north. It's next door to Liverpool. It's the north.
Oh.
Sorry, for a moment there, I thought you had furry socks on.
No, I've acquired a dog. It's fine.
Dog under the table.
Why has the dog moved under the table? Did I scare him during the story last time?
I think he likes to say hi to me. Yeah, they're not my dogs, but they love me.
Right,
So-
all the bitches love him.
He was tanning himself earlier. Bitches love a hot pot, don't they? So, with Birmingham, one thing I can't stand in Birmingham, I've been to Birmingham a few times, sorry Birmingham, is the train station, Birmingham New Street.
It has changed.
I know it's changed, alright? I hate it even more now, because I was going to an exam that I was doing, so called an electroplating exam.
At some point, should I mention that half my family are from Birmingham?
Well, this is awkward.
I was thinking about doing my fake Birmingham accent, which makes everybody sounds hilarious, but I'm not going to because there might be people from Birmingham listening, and that would really insult them.
No, it'd be fine because you have family from Birmingham.
You want me to imitate my aunt, do you? At this pitch, doing like I was, like literally up here.
Oh, you got to do it. Anyone want anybody tea?
That's my other nan who doesn't have a Birmingham accent. This is the Birmingham aunt. That's my Birmingham aunt's sister, who's my nan, whose famous phrase is "Anyone want anybody tea?" and didn't realise what she said wrong. She repeated it.
It's the best phrase ever.
Yes, it is. Now nobody asks if anyone wants any more tea in my family now. It's all anyone want anybody tea? To the point where Natalie started doing this as well.
Body tea.
Any more
want anybody tea? So instead of saying anyone
and she
want
just let slip,
anybody want any more tea,
and she let slip that she's Sweeney Todd or something. Is this some weird thing that your family does?
No, she just mixes her words up.
Oh,
all
right.
the time.
Yeah.
Like she does, like Viennese whirls, like the dessert, she calls them whirligigs because she can remember weird Viennese whirls. And this is my nan. They're whirligigs. So she just walks in and kind of goes, "Do you want a whirligig?" Whirligig. This is what my nan does instead of a Viennese whirl. Yeah. Anyone want anybody tea?
In terms of mixing things up, I think my brother was quite good when he was younger. He used to say hostiple all the time. Another thing he used to say...
I used to get forks and knives mixed up and pavements and roads.
I'm very afraid of saying this next one, but my great-grandmother never used to say my name properly, so she used to call me Curtsy.
Curtsy?
Yeah.
Did you ever curtsy?
She died when I was 3, so it's my great-grandmother, but apparently she used to call me Curtsy. And Testos, not Tesco's.
I've often had...
She was 93 and she was still saying Testos.
You shouldn't laugh at those things.
Yeah.
Funny
But with my brother, he used to mispronounce things all the time. I did it the other day. Bicester, I actually said Bicester. I'd like to point out I was on nights at this point. But my brother once wanted some banana custard. He said, "Oh, Mum, can we have some Devon custard?" Yes, Devon custard. He said Devon custard, which I'm going to bring up on his wedding day.
Compulsory.
It's the fact that I said Bicester, I'm still annoyed at myself about that. I mean, I sounded like some American tourist. That's it. Just insult most of America now.
Yeah.
It's all right. Donald Trump probably isn't listening to this.
It's on the grounds of how Americans pronounce Worcester, isn't it?
Yeah, Worcester.
Worcestershire.
Well, to be fair, I struggle pronouncing.
Time's up.
Yeah, time's up. We've done a count, and we actually came up with 17. We did quite well. I think we got 8 first time round.
I think it was probably a
We've
bit
changed
more,
our
but
counting system now.
Yeah, we have.
We've listened back, we've established it was about 17.
Which, not bad going.
It's not too bad, faff.
Considering we started on venues.
Yeah.
And ended up on Worcestershire.
And insulting Americans and Burmese and everybody in between.
Yeah, pretty much. So, next challenge is something we're not looking forward to.
I kind of feel like I should put a disclaimer on my American accent.
Birmingham.
My Birmingham accent, in the fact that I am imitating my great aunt, not Birmingham people in general. Is specifically an imitation of my great aunt.
Do not take offence.
It's alright, they don't know where we live.
Okay, now we got the B3anPod challenge.
Yes, so last time we did this, it was a bit disappointing because we all got nice ones.
Yeah.
So I have carefully selected a bad one, and I'm pretty confident it is a rotten egg one.
Brilliant.
But the problem being, we've got 3 Kinder Egg pods. Other sweets are available.
And there are other badly flavoured beans available.
But those eggs are particularly nice.
Yeah. So inside
available.
we have a bean. Now 2 of them are nice. We can't see inside them, and I've been mixing them for a while.
And they've also been sat there for a couple hours at this point.
No one knows which one's which anymore.
I can't remember which one is which is terrifying.
I wasn't even here when they put them in, so...
Yeah.
You can't
So
even guess.
the way we're going to do it is we're just going to open them, not look inside.
Yeah. Each of us is going to take one.
Yeah, so... Okay, so we have to open them up.
Oh, God.
You have to open them without looking.
Yeah, without looking.
Open it and shot it.
Brilliant.
Ready? Open it and shot.
It's stuck.
But
Mine's duty-free.
mine's nice. Mine's apple.
I think mine's a nice one. It looked like
Oh, no, mine's not! Mine's not! Oh!
I think mine was the duty fruity.
Hidden one. I was so confident that was duty-free.
I think that was mine.
Oh. No,
Sure
no.
it was straight.
That would be rotten egg.
Oh, God,
That's better than Natalie's
drink.
reaction. I did.
Well, it was the fact I was so confident and it was duty-free. I think it must have had some, like, layer or something around there.
It does.
Yeah, the sugar outside's
Oh.
fine, it's the inside that's...
Oh,
As soon as you bite into it, that's when it goes wrong.
yeah. So I was like, oh, yeah, it's tutti-frutti. Crunch. No,
I
it's
don't react
not.
like that. It's not going to be as funny when I get one. Natalie's reactions are hilarious. Liam's are apparently even better.
Yeah, I'm so
I'm
glad
not
you
just-
got that one.
Oh. I'm not going to be able to get rid of that taste.
No, you're not. We'll just have to stop the cake.
Oh.
Don't forget in a minute. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week, I say next week, next episode rather, we're going on to, collectively, one of our favourite actors, Tom Hiddleston. We're going to go through like his rise, some of his early roles, the first thing we saw him in. We're going to be discussing his new series, The Night Manager, which, you know...
Mixed reviews.
Yeah, mixed reviews between us. We're going to go and put another Bean story into Google and see what we get. I'm not sure what we're going to do for the writing yet. I think we're going to do something known as Write It Like Bowie, where we get little phrases and we have to input those into our writing. We've got another 5 Minute Faff and another pod challenge. Yay! I've been Liam.
I'm Natalie.
I've been Kirsty.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Now you are speaking to an audience, so for a moment just acknowledge the audience and then you turn back and we... Oh my God!
I actually had a glass of water in my hand when you did that. That was perhaps not the best timing.
Oh, sorry. That one's for the blooper reel.
Yeah, I was going to say blooper reel again.
Oh no, I got your cake on my t-shirt. Franks and Beans, 13 rings stuck on German penis cut off by fire brigade.
We cannot say that.
You just interrupted my merry-go-round story for a not PG safe one.
Why isn't it PG safe?
You cannot say the word penis in PG.
Say Willy then! What's wrong with you people?
It's an anatomically correct phrase. Why can you not say it?
Children say Willy?
It was like 101 things I'm not allowed to do at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
All the rules for them. And one of them, polishing my wand in the common room is acceptable. Polishing my wand in the common room is not.
I think we should sing happy birthdays.
Oh, don't get.
Yeah, ready? Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Liam. Happy birthday to you.
You genuinely looked like you were going to pick up that pen and stab me with it just a second ago. You hadn't touched towards it.
If you hadn't guessed,
It's
it's Liam's birthday today.
Yeah, it's a natural reaction. Yeah, so when we've recorded this, it's my birthday. So hooray!
We're going to have to stop for a cake break.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're going to
cake
stop
break.
for a cake break in between episodes because, fun fact, we record more than one.
Yes.